Hi, I'm Martin Cavanagh. I'm DWP Group President of PCS, with an important message about the forthcoming national ballot. You should already know that from the 26th of September, all of our members in DWP, alongside over 100,000 other PCS members, will be balloted on the key national aims of our campaign on pay, pensions, jobs, and attacks to our redundancy rights. Over the recent weeks, I've been inundated with messages from our members, with hundreds of you writing to us to tell us the devastating impact that the cost of living crisis is having on you and your families. Some really heartbreaking stories about how the cost of living crisis is making it impossible for you to make ends meet, and for some of the drastic decisions that you're having to take. We already knew that thousands of members in DWP have to claim the benefits that you pay out to others to make ends meet. And we knew that more and more of you had already resorted to borrowing, including high interest payday loans for essentials such as food and paying the mortgage and the rent. The testimonies that you've sent to us in recent weeks tell us the true picture. A picture that shows more and more of you now having to skip meals because you can't afford to feed yourselves as well as your families. More and more of you having to take time off work sick because you can't afford the cost of travel to and from the workplace. Is an unacceptable indictment on this UK government and the Department for Work and Pensions. The department that exists to provide support for the most vulnerable, more and more now, is employing people who fall into that category. The union have a very strong view that we cannot carry on and just accept this attack on our members' living standards. For the last 20 years, you've already fallen 20% behind inflation. And now this year, a 2% imposed pay increase from the department has meant that in real terms, this year alone, you're receiving a plus 10% pay cut. That will not only not do anything to help you with the cost of living crisis, that will plunge you further into financial difficulty. In addition to that, we already know that hundreds of our members in DWP right now face the risk of redundancy due to the department's office closure programme. A closure programme that is not based on necessity or need, but based on a strategy that wants to centralise work into bigger, more flexible hubs, casting hundreds of our members aside in the process. Many of you are already having to face a difficult decision about whether or not to take a voluntary redundancy package or whether or not to stick it out and try and get redeployment opportunities that are becoming more and more difficult to gain. But in addition to that, we now know that the government wants to have a full-on assault on the civil service and the public sector. The new Prime Minister has already declared as part of her election campaign the priority of cutting public spending and targeting the civil service is high on her list of priorities. So right now, not only do we already have hundreds of our members facing redundancy, but tens of thousands of civil servants, including many of us in the DWP, will be facing further attacks and risks to our jobs. Incredibly, even though staff were already facing redundancy, are not being confirmed by either the Cabinet Office or the DWP that they will honour the existing redundancy terms. And the reason for that is that the UK government have already written to our union and others in the civil service to say that they want to reopen talks about reducing the civil service compensation scheme, a scheme that not only gives you your redundancy payments, but also gives you much needed compensation if you have to leave the service through ill health. That is a further attack on not only your terms and conditions, but some of the most vulnerable members who are facing absolutely life-changing decisions in the near future. So our message to you is this: that from the 26th of September, we are conducting a statutory ballot for industrial action. There has never been a more important time for you to give us your mandate and vote for industrial action. Whether it's pay and the cost of living crisis, the ongoing 2% that you overpay every month for your pensions, the risk to your jobs, or the attacks on your redundancy terms and compensation payments. Now is the right time for us to fight back, alongside other workers in the rail industry, in the telecoms industry, in the postal industry, and local authorities. We have seen a summer where workers have started to say, we've had enough. We've had enough of being taken for granted. We've had enough of paying for the economic failures of others. We need to join that fight. So I would urge you all to do three things. Make sure that you are registered on PCS Digital. And if you're not, go on there immediately to make sure that we've got your correct home address and your correct contact details. If you are already registered, go on and check that we have your correct details, and make sure that we can give you the ballot paper at the end of September that will allow you to cast your vote. This will be a postal only vote because it's a statutory ballot. So you will need to physically return your ballot paper, and we need over 50% of our members to vote in that ballot to receive a legal mandate. Now is the time. You deserve better, and we can win better collectively. Please vote yes in the forthcoming statutory ballot, and let's win on pay, on pensions, for your job security, and to stop the attacks on our redundancy terms. Solidarity.